So today I wanted to do a video that tells you guys, one, how to start your own business, two, some of the tools which I think are absolutely vital, and three, talk about some of the mistakes that we found during the inception stage of building this incredible brand.
I will run, I will rise, I will grow. I will climb to the place I belong. I will fight like the world's never known. Like the world's never known. Like the world's never known.
My name is Ben Francis and I founded a company called Gymshark 7 years ago. Gymshark was the UK's fastest growing business, and we've gone from 0 to over 300 staff and over $200 million turnover in no time whatsoever. And on that journey, we have learned so much. So today I wanted to do a video that tells you guys, one, how to start your own business, two, some of the tools which I think are absolutely vital, not only in starting the business, but running a business, and three, talk about some of the mistakes that we found, especially at the start during the inception stage of building this incredible brand. This is a really difficult video. So this is the most requested video in terms of when you look at all the comments and even like what a lot of people are searching to get to my channel. And this is a really weird one because at this point I'm literally almost reverse engineering a lot of the things that just happened when we first started, but I found it really a really interesting exercise to try and work out what's worked, what hasn't worked and why. I'm going to do a bunch of different videos, and this one's going to start very much with the inception, the creation of the business, the tools which will really help you do that and help you prosper in the early stages of starting your own business. I'll then make later videos as part of probably this sort of playlist or series that will go into, you know, maybe the first million turnover, building out, hiring the first few staff and building the business into more of a lifestyle business. And then the next stage in terms of that next step, which we found really difficult, was that $10 million to $100 million stage. And then we're just going now, fell into the next stage of that when we're starting to really globalize and internationalize the Gymshark business. And I'm really excited to show you guys how that works, and hopefully you guys can learn from that as well. Before starting Gymshark, I had around 7 different websites, so I was running loads of different things. And I've tried to work out why it was Gymshark the one that I stuck with, because Gymshark absolutely did not do well at the start. It took us several months to get the first sale. And I think the reason that I stuck with Gymshark and I really fell in love with Gymshark, whilst we're waiting for Biffa to sort out the bins because of the noise, LinkedIn, I've been living on LinkedIn lately. It's absolutely brilliant, especially seeing as this is a more business related video. If you are interested in more of this sort of content, check me out on LinkedIn, because genuinely I think it's been an absolutely amazing social media. I've only been using it properly for about a week or so, but I'm currently absolutely obsessed with LinkedIn. It's not even Biffa, it's Veolia. So when you start in your own business, the first thing that it needs to have is a clear purpose. When I look back to Gymshark and why Gymshark succeeded, it was all around the defined purpose that Gymshark had. From day one, Gymshark has always been around bringing people together, and that's why immediately, as soon as we could afford to, we were doing the event. And to this day, we still invest so much money into events despite not making any money from them. Gymshark is around inspiring people to improve themselves, both physically and mentally, and that's an area of huge personal importance to me, because I wasn't actually doing that well at school. And it was only when I got into the gym and applied a lot of the lessons that I learned in the gym in terms of sticking to a routine, you know, just turning up day after day and just working hard, changing things up when they got stale. Applying these sort of things into my school life and then my professional life really helped me to succeed. So purpose is single-handedly for me the most important thing, and if you don't have a purpose, either the business will fizzle out or you'll end up giving up on it. So for the rest of this video, I want to focus on 3 main areas that you need to focus on in order to start your own business and then help it to prosper. So those 3 things are the tools, the mindsets, and the foundations that you need. So we'll start off by going through some of the tools. Now, this isn't an exhaustive list, but these are the first tools that come to mind for me when I'm thinking about the things that are really important in starting your business and really helping it to run and prosper at the beginning. So the main, most important tools that you need to know inside out for me are Shopify, Photoshop, Illustrator, Zendesk, and social media. Oh, cool, first time. That was quite good. With these things, if you can know these things inside out, if you can really learn to master these tools, then believe me, it'll feel like you've got a superpower. And I think they're absolutely vital to your business succeeding. First and foremost, Shopify. Shopify, whether you are a small starting business or you're a huge international business, for me, Shopify is huge. We actually moved away from Shopify at one point in the Gymshark history. It didn't go very well for us and we ended up moving back. And I think it was through that experience that we really understood the value of Shopify. If you're just starting out, you can literally make a website in a day. You can use some of their core templates that comes with the platform. It's super cheap, it's simple, it's easy to use. And as a small business, when you haven't got much money, it gives you an opportunity to create a website that historically would cost you, thousands, tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands overnight, and I think that's absolutely vital. For me, in the way that Apple made software on phones and computers super intuitive and simple, Shopify have done that with online websites and e-commerce. Photoshop, probably single-handedly my favorite piece of software, my go-to, whether I need to try and demonstrate something or explain a concept or an idea or something that I want us to create. Photoshop is my go-to for this. I think myself, and I think a lot of people nowadays are quite visual, and I think it's a lot easier to get a message across to people if you can demonstrate an idea of what it would look like. And instantly it's way easier to get those concepts and those ideas across to other people, and you'll realize, by the way, that business is all about people. Getting those ideas across to people is so much easier when you've got Photoshop, you've got Photoshop skills, and you can create little visual pieces which show the message that you're trying to convey. I think genuinely everyone should know how to use Photoshop to a degree. Like I said, whether it's a new idea, a hierarchy, a product, a logo, a concept, a thumbnail, whatever it is, for me, Photoshop is absolutely vital because it's all around ideas and it's all about evoking emotion and winning over the people and having them buy into your idea, and that's so much easier to do in a visual way rather than just through explanation, words and numbers. Illustrator, this is something I haven't used as much lately, but at the start it was something that was really important to the brand, and we used Illustrator to make not only our logos but all the initial screen printed designs that we were running. So when we first started, we were sewing and screen printing on product, and Illustrator was so important because it meant that we could make the logos that would then go onto the product. Now Illustrator is really good because on Illustrator you can make vector graphics, which are basically means that no matter how big or small that you make them, they won't distort and they won't pixelate. So for me, Illustrator is the go-to software when you're making logos and graphics and things like that. Zendesk, from a customer service point of view, it's absolutely brilliant. Back in the day, even when I was working at Pizza Hut and in between deliveries, I used to jump on and respond to customers. We could do that through Zendesk. What's great about Zendesk, as well as you start to hire staff, is that it's a ticketed system, so different people can jump in and help customers as they go. And again, it just means that you can be super close to your customer. Zendesk for me at the moment is the market leader tool for that, especially for small businesses or people that are just starting up. Super cheap, super easy, similar to Shopify, super intuitive and easy to use, and you just want to make sure that you're staying as close to your customers and fans as possible. Last but definitely not least, social media. Arguably the thing that did blow Gymshark up was social media. Back in the day it was more Facebook and YouTube led. Lately you've got things such as Snapchat, TikTok, IGTV and all these things blowing up. But social media is just incredible, and as a company like us, it's just invaluable, again, because you get instant feedback, and that is so valuable, whether it's positive or more importantly negative, because you need to understand how to improve constantly. Social media is just brilliant. Social media for me, it comes into sort of two categories. You've got organic social media and paid, because a lot of it's getting paid now, especially on the Facebook owned companies. What I say to the team here is that the organic reach that you see today is the best it'll ever be. It becomes sort of two very different problems to solve in a sense. On organic, you want to focus on virality, on organic engagement, on evoking emotion. When it gets to paid social media advertising, you need to be super targeted, you need to be super brief, you need to make sure that you're getting your message across instantly. You only have a split second to capture someone's imagination, and I think that's more true now than ever. Next, I want to focus a little bit on the mindset, because this is so important, and I know that Gary Vee talks a lot about this and he focuses a lot on self-awareness, but I cannot tell you how important mindset is in terms of succeeding in starting your own business and then some of the first people that will join that business as well. So what you need, and this is not just yourself, but the people that are working in the business at the start and helping you out, you need to be ambitious, you need to be a lateral thinker, you need to be self-aware, you need to be creative, and for me, you have to absolutely be what we call a doer. So you need to be the sort of person that's going to grab something by the scruff of the neck and just get it done and move it forward and constantly progressing. You need to hold yourself accountable, you need to be self-aware. So you need to, I think one of the things that I think I certainly am quite proud of myself for doing is I was self-aware enough to know the areas which I'm not very good at and the areas which I am good at. And it really helped Gymshark to grow faster when I just and it really pained me, by the way, it broke my heart to do it at the start, to take a step back from certain areas of the business that I loved because I wasn't very good at them, and brought in people that are significantly better than I am. And I think that's so important, and for me that all comes down to self-awareness. Lateral thinking is, for me, it's not talked about enough. I think if you can think outside the box, and again, all the most successful people here at Gymshark are lateral thinkers. If they see a problem, they're turning it upside down, inside out, they're trying to work out different ways of solving this problem, ways of doing things that have never been done before, and lateral thinking and creativity for me are very closely linked. But it's just so important that you can think laterally and that you can be a great problem solver, because when you first start in a business, there are so many problems, whether it's financially or all sorts of issues that will pop up, and you're going to have to think about ways of getting around them. Ambition, you have to be ambitious as well, because it is so tough. Genuinely, running Gymshark, especially in the early days, was the hardest thing I've ever done in my life. It was mentally so difficult, so stressful. But if you have that ambition, if you're pursuing that purpose that you've already defined, then believe me, you will get through it. And yeah, it's absolutely vital. And all of these things go for the people around you as well. It's so important that you surround yourself with a great, ambitious, creative, lateral thinking, self-aware team. Finally, last but not least, I want to talk about foundations, and believe me, this is so important that you have great foundations in your business from the start. So the main things that I wanted to go over here is finance, taxes, and hiring. These are the things that I just wanted to run over in terms of the foundations of the business. So first and foremost, you want to start the business properly. You want to find a good accountant. So if any accountant is coming to you saying that, you know, they can dodge you this tax there or anything like that, or they'll be able to do a little thing for you here and help you out there, believe me, just leave them, walk away. You need a good, solid accountant. You want to pay your taxes on time. The last thing you want to be doing is just trying to get away with anything. If you don't pay your taxes, you will get found out. And when you do, it will be an absolute nightmare. And all you need to be doing is focusing on the things you're really good at. So get a great accountant, pay your taxes, and have great financial foundations. Last point on this subject that I want to talk through is hiring, and it sort of goes back to the mindset piece that I spoke about a moment ago. But in hiring, when we first started hiring people for Gymshark, we hired purely on gut instinct. And that's the other thing that I think you always need to follow, is always follow your gut instinct, because generally for me, that will always be right. And some of the few but only regrets that I do have in life have been from not following my gut instinct. You have to be hiring people that are better than you. They have to be better than you. If they're not, then you need to sort of look at your ego, you need to look at yourself, because that's what's truly going to allow the business to prosper. So that was a super top line overview of some of the things, the key areas that I think you need to focus on in starting your own business. A few little lessons of the things that we've learned at Gymshark. This has been a lot more business oriented, and this has been something that people have been asking for a long time. So hopefully you enjoy it. And as always, thank you so much for watching.